Hello, this is Matthew Sweeney. I'm going to talk about Json. So Json stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it's basically just a way to easily store information in a format that's easy to transport and use in a different way. So it's usually used with other things. You use it a lot actually with Ajax and with local storage, but I'm going to try to kind of isolate it so we can kind of get a better grasp of it just by itself. So the thing with JSON is that it stores information in kind of key value pairs. So that's what we have here. I have a few variables at the top that are just going to be used for showing the functions that are the main functions with JSON. And those functions are going to be the stringify and the parse functions. And those are going to transform information from like a normal JavaScript format to a JSON format, and then back from the JSON format to a JavaScript format. So we have up here just a huge long string, which if you just look at it, you can see that it actually has the keys and value pairs. We have like a name, and then the name of something, and then founded would be another value, and then or another key, and then we have the value there. And then location, another value. So this is actually just a set of objects here that is just presented in one giant string, because that's the way JSON information is stored as a string. And then we have a couple objects here that I'm going to be doing information on. So here's just one object that just has some values here that really the information itself is not that important. Just that it's an object is more important. And we have an array here of just some other information that I'm going to transform these into JSON format and then display them. So the main thing I wanted to show you was the two functions that are mostly used with JSON, and those are the stringify and the parse functions. So the first two are going to show some stringify, how that works. So the first one here takes as an input parameter that just some information, and then stringify is the thing that turns that information into a JSON notation. So it's working on the mandatory parameter here of just the information, and then this function will just display it to the screen. Doesn't really do anything with it important. Normally you could send it to someplace else. You could store it somewhere. I mean, you could do a lot of different things with it. Here I'm just printing it out to the screen so I can show mainly the function that operates on the information. The second function does the same thing, but it actually uses some fancier parameters here. Most notably, this optional parameter here, where you can include a function, and this will take the information that you have in their mandatory parameter and then perform some function on it. And the function I have here is just a function here to convert it to just all uppercase. So you can do a lot of different functions there, and that'll just kind of do a little processing on the information before it's converted to JSON. And the third one is the third function where I have here actually takes the JSON stored information and converts it back into a JavaScript object. So that's what this function is here, the parse function. And that's going to take companies, which was our huge long string at the top, and then turns it back into a JavaScript object here. And then this part will just cycle through that using a for loop. It'll just go through that that new object that's created from the JSON information, and then again just put it out to the screen. And again, you could do a lot of different things with that, but that's all I'm going to do right now, just so I can show how the parse function works. And then we have the buttons down here that just kind of control the functions that trigger them. So let's show you how that kind of works. I'm going to go to my page here. There's not really, doesn't really look like much, but this is it. So this is going to convert to JSON the first bit of information, and you can see it kind of looks like how our string did at the beginning. You have your name, and then there's a name here, and then your type, chocolate number, and then just some random numbers here. And if we go back to our code, that's turning this information into JSON format. So it looks like a big, well, it's a string, but it's stored as value pairs there. So we can also convert it with parameters, and this is going to take our arrays here, and it's going to turn it into, it's going to capitalize them and then turn it into a JSON format. So that's why it's a string, because it's all just array. It's actually just one, whereas this would be several different key values. This is just one thing, so it's just going to be a huge long string, but it's all capital because we use that function there. And this one's going to convert to JavaScript, to convert back to a JavaScript object, the things up here, and this is going to convert it into an array of objects. So it'll have 3 objects, 1, 2, and then 3. But it'll only print out, and we go down here, we can see it'll only print out the name and the location. So we're actually leaving out the founded part of it. So go back to our thing. There it is. So it's just cycling through and then looking for Big Top Candy Shop, then location. So that's kind of a way, it's interesting, and you kind of have to keep track of arrays, which is always a little bit of a challenge at first, but it's a neat way to convert information and then store it and do interesting things with it. But I just kind of wanted to demonstrate the parse and the stringify functions separate from Ajax and from local storage, which is kind of how they get tied up a lot of times. All right, thanks.